Okay, I think we are live. Hey, y'all. If you are out there, say hello. We are recapping Queen Sugar season 6, episode 6. So, this is on the second half of the season, and it did not disappoint. There was so much going on, but I'm going to let people join. I'm going to give people a couple seconds to join. First of all, Ashley, how you doing, girl?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk about this episode though. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get into it. Season, how you doing?
Y'all know I'm tired.
Tired? You
I'm tired.
motherfucking tired?
Y'all know this baby kicking my butt. Oh, you don't look at you
Um,
got that hair swooped though. You see? You see?
Listen, on another note, not Queen Sugar note, somebody had wrote an article for the Wall Street Journal saying that a side part makes you look older. And I'm like, since when the fuck does side parts make you look older? I'm like, what y'all talking about? Y'all be making shit up.
Isn't it chuggy? Is that what it's called? A side part is chew. Is that chuggy? Or
I don't
middle?
know.
They said middle parts was chuggy. Now they saying side parts is make up your mind.
I don't know. I don't know what the kids talk about these days. Hey Marcus. Hey MD Turb. Okay, we got our normal crew. It's some other people that'll join us in a minute. But we got the crew. Okay, so who we want to start with? I'll let y'all pick who we start with today.
I don't know. Okay, season, pick one. Ralph Angel or Nova? Let's get Nova out the way because I always just we're gonna start with Nova.
Okay, we'll start off with Nova. Listen, I know y'all are not Team Nova, and Nova has been on my nerves plenty of times, but I felt really bad for Nova this episode. Like, it is obvious that the police are targeting her and retaliating against the fact that she has been very vocal about the police abuse. And it's just traumatizing, when you think about Breonna Taylor and, police just barging in on a woman while she's sleeping, a Black woman. That imagery was just very triggering and very traumatizing to watch. And so my heart really went out to Nova. And I thought that she handled the situation like exceptionally well, given everything that's happened. Because the things that happened in our life has happened on the Queen Sugar sphere. So, who's harsher on Nova? Season. Did today's episode make you feel a little bit like, damn, they didn't have to do Nova like that? Or what?
um, long story short, no. By the end of the episode, I didn't feel sorry for Nova, but I do think that what the cops did to her was fucked up. Obviously, I wouldn't. I mean, it wasn't like Breonna Taylor, they didn't bust in blasting or whatever, but so I just feel like was it wrong? Yes. The cops was fucked up. Like that's wrong. Was it a surprise? None at all. Like I wasn't surprised that it happened. And she should have been more on her shit. Like, you're a target right now and keep weed out your house. Stay ready. You ain't never gotta get ready. And then her little speech at the end, it's like she held it together. So that part was good, but no, I wasn't surprised that happened at all. And no, I didn't really feel sorry for her by the end of the episode. But I have more to add to that. Not just it's separate from the police thing.
Well, it sounded like you victim blaming, talking about how she should have been ready with the weed because she has a medicinal card. It's a lot of people that have
Oh
weed
yeah,
cards. So
I
she
forgot
wasn't
about
doing
the medicinal
anything
card.
illegal. And as she said, it's a misdemeanor. Normally, ain't nobody busting up in your house over a bag of weed. And so obviously, the warrant was on some trumped up shit. And that is not something that, you know what I'm saying, I think she has to take any kind of fault for. So let me just shout out to more people. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Sharon. Um, so I mean, I'm not with you on that season because it's clearly that she's being targeted, and I don't think that as much as she knows that she's being targeted, I don't know if she could have foreseen that. MD Turp says, I thought about Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland as well. It was tough to watch. She needs security or a roommate.
Mm-mm.
Ashley, well, let me tell you what Sharon says. Sharon says Nova handled it well, but she was coached well by her neighbor. What are your thoughts on the Nova situation? Let's not talk at the end. Let's just talk about what went down in terms of her house.
I'll say this. I live by myself, right? So it is definitely a fear of mine. Once Breonna Taylor, that's the case that really got me. We see black women and all the trauma that all of us go through all the time, but then you have that one that really gets you. And Breonna Taylor is the one for me because they busted in her house while she was sleeping and she was innocent. So it's like
Yeah.
that felt like it could literally happen to any of us. So when I saw that and they busted in and it was just that noise change they used, like it was
Mm,
quiet, and all of a sudden you hear this big blast. It really, honestly, it triggered me to think like, okay, that's what it sounds like. That's what
yeah.
it took me to. It's like, oh, that's what it sounds like if somebody come busting in your house and it's quiet and you're at peace. I felt for her. I didn't feel for her until she was on the ground and she was about to cry. When she was about
Mm.
to break down and cry, it was like, girl, I felt that. It felt genuine. And then when he told her, don't give him, and coached her through it, and like, that made me love him. I love him, y'all. He
Oh my
is just
gosh.
a great
That's your boyfriend
character.
now?
I don't know if Nova should be the chick to get him. I'm not sure about that. I don't, I feel like she'll fuck it up because Nova, what is Nova good for? Doing Nova shit. And Nova likes to fuck shit up. But I definitely like that that character was placed in that scene to give
Yeah.
us that whole like black men got our back type of feel. Like it felt good watching that part.
Well, that's
Yeah.
my thing with her. It's like she's finding like she does all this shit and she really doesn't reap any direct repercussions of her actions. So her being raided by the police, that's something that's like actually gonna affect her and wake her up and happen to her. It doesn't, it's generally speaking, was it wrong? Was it fucked up? Yeah, but Nova really don't get she really don't get to feel the burn of her own of what she does.
On actions.
Yeah, but I just
Yeah.
don't think that like that would have been the way to kind of prove anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't feel comfortable with the idea of like, well, this is how Nova gets her comeuppance because I just think it's way too triggering and it's way too dangerous. And I just think that, like black people have enough shit to deal with, like being targeted in your own home. They already had the like the flyer that they left on her targeting her. They've been intimidating her in a number of ways for a long time. I just feel like yes, Nova has gotten away with a lot of stuff in the past, but this was not the way to be like. And I'm not saying that was the purpose of the show, but I didn't feel for 1 second like, well, she's finally getting her, getting hers back. But let's talk about the neighbor a little bit. A lot of people are commenting about how the neighbor was really great at coaching her. You mentioned it, Ashley, about how he kind of brought her back down. I think it's so interesting though because as a black man, he put himself in danger by coming to her rescue. He didn't stand on the sidelines with the video camera, and he really showed up and was consistent with the way that he has portrayed himself or presented himself to Nova. Remember when he said, like, oh, if you're walking home, let me know. I'll come outside and see you in. And so I feel like there's a great consistency in his character in terms of showing up and also just protect Black women, right? I mean, I think it's so important to show that on the screen. But we do have somebody who has a slightly different of opinion, which is Marcus. He says, I still don't know about Dominic. He has to prove himself more. What more do you want from
He
Dominic,
jumped in
Marcus?
front of rifles. Like, yeah.
Season, where do you fall? Are you with me and Ashley on this? Or are you with Marcus on this one?
I think Marcus is dope. I mean,
Dominic, you mean?
Market. Oh, you
oh,
talking?
Dominic, sorry. Marcus, you got keep your opinion. Hold on to that. But no, I think Dominic is cool. I mean, I haven't encountered a protective Dominic who came to my aid when I was out being street harassed and shit. So it's nice to see it on TV. That's real refreshing. He's definitely a made for TV character, and
Damn, man, for TV. Oh, the shade in that. I think that's I mean, yeah, you've been handcuffed on the curb before, and yeah, no, black men
I've
came to
been
you.
through all that shit. I've been street. I've had a nigga yoke me up in the store. Dominic, cool. If you really out there,
You know what though? I mean, to be honest, you're right. Because like I did have a situation with the police in Vegas, and it was actually a black man who instigated the shit. You know what I'm saying? The police came, hit me up. My motherfucking wrist was hurting the next day. Like I was about to go to jail, but I went ape shit berserk on the security guard because I was like, really, nigga, like you gonna sit up there and let these, popos do me like this? And I guess the police were very entertained by me like going at it with another black man. So they was like, okay, I got my chauffeur then and let my ass go. But I will still say that generally speaking, I would expect a black man who knows you well in that situation to step up. I know my husband would not let that happen to me. I know your husband would. I know we know a lot of black men who would. So I wouldn't go so far as to say, made for TV. Just Kev says Dominic was about to catch a bullet. He all right with me. Exactly. Shakira says, I really like the neighbor. This may bring them closer because they experienced this together.
Oh my God.
I think a love connection is on the horizon. Yes. I think he's proven himself. I'd like to see it.
I just don't want her to fuck it up because that's what she do.
Okay, in the comments, do y'all think that this is going to be an inevitable shit show if her and Dominic get together? Or maybe has Nova evolved? I think she is much more, aware of her actions. She hasn't started too many
Why
new
would I say that? I'm victim blaming.
No. I'm not talking about her going to jail. I'm just talking about just look at this season. She hasn't started any new fires. All of the fires are still around that book, okay? But she's doing really good this season. She's doing community service. You know what I'm saying? It's not her fault that all this other shit is still happening. So I'm team Nova redemption. She's finding her own man this time. Ain't Charlie's ex, ain't somebody's husband. He's a single, nice, respectable black man who was down for the people, jumped in front of bullets or guns. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I don't know if I'm team Nova just yet. She's still a Karen.
Karen, dog. That's what I'm saying. I can't put her in the Breonna Taylor category.
I didn't say no. I didn't say that she's a Breonna Taylor, but what I said is just the imagery. With
definitely gave me Breonna Taylor vibes. If it wasn't her, if it was, what's her name? What's her sister name? Why her name slipped my mind? Charlie. If it was Charlie that was put in that scene, I still would have felt the same way because it was just the imagery of it.
Yeah, I mean, and even when Prosper had to run in with the police, even when Roth Angels had to run into the police, it's always traumatizing. With Micah, anytime the police are involved, I just don't want to see anything happen to any black person. Period. Point blank. Period. But okay, fast forward, they find the weed. She goes to jail. She's being basically, unlawfully detained, and she bosses up. And, she says, you were going to let my motherfucking ass go, and I'm going to sue y'all. And that's what Marcus says. Nova was leaning into her power. That prayer, God covered me, centered her. I like to see, one of the things I like about this show is they always flip stuff to where it's more about being empowered as opposed to being a victim. And I'm not saying victim to be like derogatory or to be like, black people are victims. But what I'm just saying is that I think that it always tries to bring it back to like, we have power and we can react to things and reclaim our power. Ashley, you're nodding along. So I'm going to go to you before I go to Season on that comment. What were your thoughts on how it all came together in terms of,
well, first of all, that looked like spinach in that bag. So she should have asked to smell it first because they could have just put spinach in a bag and called it weed. That didn't look like it was weed.
No, I didn't look like weed at all.
That was very fake weed. That was very that was not good fake weed.
It wasn't, but I definitely, it's just a tough situation that you don't know what you would really do until you're in it, right? So it's like, her getting that power, her standing up and her walking out so easily, it's kind of like, would that really happen?
Well, it was all illegal from the beginning.
This is clearly fantasy. This particular scene, you get what I'm saying? Clearly looks like fantasy. Like, girl, okay, nothing against it. Yes, you prayed to God. He empowered you. He gave you this. He covered you, whatever it is. But reality is, if I got arrested, right, and I'm in here and I say, God, pray for me, take over me, do all this. Yes. The reality is the officer ain't about to let me out if I just stand up and say, let me out. It just didn't seem realistic.
Well, she had been there for like many hours, and all they had her on was something that she would just get a ticket for. So it was not about, they're going to incarcerate her for any length of time. It was just about fucking with her head and intimidating her. And so, I mean, I don't think it was that unrealistic, but seizing your thoughts, and then we'll move on to another topic.
I mean, it was cute or whatever. She stood up, she made her speech. She probably dug deep and remembered conversations that white boy told her if she ever got arrested. Like, if you ever get arrested, say this, Nova. Here go my card. She didn't lean into herself. She linked into the Karen. I used to fuck with a white cop. That's what she did. Miss Nova, honey, you was like, yeah, I know what to say. Okay. So
oh, ye little black girl magic face. Okay. But Marcus did bring up the fact that yes, she had the cop.
Marcus.
I do not agree. I think the cop is history. I might be on the island.
He's still in there. He got in there.
He's still in there. If he on your list, he in your head.
Well, I'm thinking that, the cop is ancient history and Dominic is where it's at now. Let's see. IB says, nah, Nova's a journalist and educated. She don't need capital. Thank you, IB. I'm trying to say this. Nova is a strong-ass black woman. Yes, she's done some shady shit in the past, but I think she knows her shit, and it had nothing to do with Calvin. Okay,
so she ain't benefited at all from being engaged to a cop.
Oh, were they engaged? I guess they were kind of, but I don't think it had anything to do with it. No, because I think that she's very knowledgeable about the law. She's been talking about the law for a very long.
Reese, you from?
Okay, we back. All right. But okay, I think we talked enough about Nova. Yeah, we are on completely different pages. Okay, opinions are our own because these two don't speak for me when it comes to Nova in this cop situation. I thought we was gonna get more empathy, but apparently I'm wrong. But that's why I have two other people with me, because if it was just my opinion, it would be a totally different recap. But okay, let's move on to another group of people. Let's see. I want to say hello to some more people. Karina, Aaron, Sheila's coming back. Robert. Yeah, okay. I think I got everybody that's commented. So yeah, all right. Let's move on to something lighter. Okay, another thing we probably gonna disagree on.
Oh. I'm like, what good happened in this episode?
Let's talk about Charlie and Davis. Okay.
I think it's so cute.
Okay, yes, I got Ashley around my side. Anybody else in the comments? Are you team Charlie and Davis? Anybody team West? Team West Side? No, not season. You still not there? Okay, Ashley, I'm gonna start with you because you agree with me. So Ashley, what did you think about Davis and Charlie this episode and their long distance love? Oh, look at her.
Cute. Okay. They definitely had a very cute moment. I love the way he talked to her and made sure he reassured her that it's not just you, it's me as well. We both gonna have to figure this out together. Like, I love that teamwork type of conversation. So I am here for it. I don't know why I can't give Nova any redemption points, but I may be giving Davis a few redemption points.
That's wrong. That's problematic.
I mean, Nova just better. I have higher expectations for Nova. She's educated, right? Like, she should know better. But I do, I do think that Charlie and Davis are going on a good path. Let me say that. I don't know if I'm not here 100%, but I am closer than I was last week, because this was a cute scene.
I think what they're showing is, I think they're showing a very healthy way of going about it. It's excellent communication. There's a lot of transparency, and to me, the biggest thing is that there's a partnership, there's teamwork. I loved that he said that it's not on, like you said, it's not on her alone to figure this out, and he's doing some thinking too. And I just love that, because so many times as women, we just try to figure it out, and we think that every problem is for us to solve and for us alone. And I think it's very important to show that partnership, and that the woman doesn't have to do all of the emotional heavy lifting. So often, women, I ain't talking about my relationship, but I'm talking about other people's relationships. Women have to do the emotional heavy lifting between the two. They got to think about all the stuff, and it's tiresome. And I love that he's all in, and he's also, what also is really key is that he said, well, I might, he's thinking about if he has to move, as opposed to when they first brought up, it's like, well, will you move? So I think that I like that they're both exploring all their options, but they're doing so as a team. Season, your reaction before I said put that up though. IB says, I'm team wait and see. Season, are you team wait and see or team, I'm never going to be team Charlie and Davis?
I said week after week, I'm team Charlie. I do not want to see her have to sacrifice or lose this opportunity to further her career and represent her people and do what she got to do. So
yeah,
if I guess that does make me wait and see, because I have to make sure Davis does not fuck this up for her.
Well, I think that they've kind of put that to bed, because the party came and said, we love the interview. The response has been amazing. We want you to run for Congress. I think that kind of puts to bed that their reconciliation in terms of his past and their past together is going to be an issue. Season, you don't think so?
I'm not. I think because Charlie had the conversation with Micah, like, they're gonna dig deep into our lives. Are you okay with this? So to me, just because the advisors or whatever accept it, they think she'll handle it well, but they don't know what all is left to get dug up. So I'm team Charlie, but I have to make sure when she gets sworn in, then I'm like, girl, yes, you did that, and black love down to the ground, okay? But
yeah, because Congress is higher than the Senate, if y'all didn't know.
Well, but let me throw something else out there though, because I think it's important to remember that Micah has had his share of issues, and I don't think that conversation with Micah was even about Davis or her concern about their past. That's already baked to the cake at this point. I think it was about the fact, remember the whole arson thing where his friend went to jail? That could come up. Yeah. Where they set fire to that plantation. That's an issue that Micah had. His friend took the rapport. Also, he had to run in with the police. That's traumatizing. And so Micah, and I'm not saying baggage, I'm not being a victim blamer, but I'm saying that Micah has his own things that he could be potentially exposed to. So I took it more so about Micah's past and not so much about Davis's past. Ashley, am I winning you over with that argument, or what do you think it was?
Well, I think it was both. I think she was saying, like, as I go into this, we all are about to have our laundry just put out there, So
yes,
I think it was a necessary conversation. I wish she would have been a little bit more specific than just general speaking, but I think that can come later down the line. Of like they're gonna bring up what happened with the cops, and that can spark the because he's clearly not healed from that, right? Like he's working on it, but he still has those triggering moments. So him going into the limelight, that's gonna take it to a whole different level. So yeah, I think it was a conversation she was having. Like, this is gonna affect not just me, but every one of us in this family. So yeah.
But I think that ultimately they're doing the right thing. They're having discussions as a family. They're having discussions as a relationship. Even if Charlie and Davis weren't together, her acting like a maniac on the basketball court was going to come back on her anyway. Absolutely. And so I don't think that necessarily them being together is going to hinder her, as opposed to, like, if it's going to hurt her, it's going to hurt her regardless of whether they were together or not. At least if they're together, then it's a story about reconciliation and redemption, and not a story about just drama and bullshit. Lots of comments though. Let's see. Ivy says, after Charlie found out what happened to Nova, she ain't going to California. Oh, mark my words. I saw that lioness in her eyes during the previews. You fuck with her family, she goes into battle mode. So the previews, you guys don't see the previews. I actually interpreted the previews differently because in this episode, she was kind of torn and, not really sold on the idea of, seeking higher office. I think that when she says in the preview, she says, I don't have the tools to protect my family and I want to do something about that, or the ones that I care about. I took that as her. I'm predicting that she's going to use that as impetus for her to go on ahead and say, yes, I'm going to run. I don't know if you guys noticed, but she said, I might have to move to California to run. Did y'all catch that, Paul?
That was convenient, yeah.
It was convenient. I don't know if this is the last season of Queen Sugar. I actually think that Charlie, I'm not sure if it is or not, but if it is, I think that Charlie going back to California, reconciling with Davis, being a U.S. congressperson, I think that's a nice full circle kind of arc where she's better off. I know I never thought of her as being a forever St. Joe resident, especially now that Micah has moved on and she doesn't have her mill anymore. And so it will make sense to me. I would buy that as a given. But okay. Oh, look at Oracle. This is a nice comment. I related to the show. I've been a sub for your channel for a while. I have to say you are all three beautiful women. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Oracle.
Thank you, Oracle. That was sweet.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Okay, Karina says she caught that. Oh, Ava said there's going to be a season 7. Okay, so forget what I said about that could be her, the way her arc ends.
Right.
And let's see. And I just one last thing on Charlie and thing. Jessica says Charlie are both in different spaces. They never stop loving each other. Karina says I'm Team Charlie Davis. He's proven himself so far, but the long distance will be a test. I think he's all for making it work. Yes, but this is one thing I'm saying. I'm gonna hop off. Robert, you're wrong. There's no more kids in Davis' background.
What if she go out to California and get pregnant?
Who? You think Charlie gonna go out to California and get pregnant?
Yeah.
No,
I can see. I was thinking of it like that's a possibility.
We see like, I don't know about her. She got that. She had
no, but she's not gonna start all over again with having babies, and she's at the pinnacle. I don't think so. But I did.
You know how black shows and movies are. A happy ending ain't complete until a bitch is pregnant.
Well, that's what we have Darla for. But before I say one thing before I move on to Darla, I will say that I said a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that Charlie is on the Kamala Harris path. Didn't I say that? Because now you talk about running for Congress. I said she should be in Congress. She could be a senator. So, yes, Charlie, work it out. Black girl magic. Black excellence team. Black electors. Okay. Okay. Let's not mention Darla. Let's talk about Darla. Poor Darla. She just. I mean, when Charlie and them were having a spa day, which I didn't talk about, but and then they show Ralph Angel and Darla. I was like, well, damn, they look depressed as shit to be on the baby mode. What the hell? Like, they need a Beats pill. They need some boom box. They need some, martinis or some shit. They were just sitting up there quiet and looking all sad. I was really confused. Like, okay, well, what's going on? Are they arguing? So I was really wanting this baby moon to be a little bit more refreshing for Darla, but all the bullshit, all the stress followed them right on there. Karina says, yeah, poor Darla. You took the words right out of my mouth. Poor Darla. I mean, I just, Season, you're pregnant. And I'm assuming you're not having a baby moon, but how pissed would you be if you were on a baby moon and you found out that your husband has been scheming and lying behind your damn back and now he might be in trouble with the po-po?
Child, look, I like to throw shit. So we would have got a hefty bill from that little Airbnb because it wouldn't have been a dish standing in that motherfucker. I mean, come on. And see, I know this why when women get married, you don't apologize because it's still gonna circle back to be their fault. So just hold up on that apology a little bit longer, ladies. Okay, because it's still gonna be their fault. And then you just had your come to Jesus moment and apologize for nothing. She shouldn't have
That
never
is true.
placed her damn. Well, I'm so sorry for doubting you, bitch. He out here robbing the fucking Landrys. Just wait. Just hold off on apologies for like 2 hours a day. You know, because you be knowing, we be knowing, and here she go. Now she on her baby moon done turned into the last time they get to relax. Cause once they get back to the house, anybody who pull up the driveway,
They're gonna be.
they gonna be flushing the drugs and shit down the toilet. You know, you don't have to do that, Darla. And that also begs the question: did Ralph Angel pay any of them motherfucking bills?
Well, that is the question. What was you doing this shit for? That was a nice little big old Airbnb child. Ashley, was Darla premature in apologizing? And do you think that it adds insult to injury that she apologized only for her to have been right all along?
Yes, 1,000%.
Who else?
I would absolutely have to break something. I would have to step away so that I don't slap the shit out of you. So let me go in the back and break something because you made me apologize to you. You made me feel like I was underestimating your skills, and I was just really thinking that you were just, what? And
it was gaslighting. He gaslit her.
You consistently lie to this woman, and I would feel like an idiot. Like, why did I even, I don't want to call him a disappointment, but God damn it, he's a disappointment. Why would I even think that you're better than being a disappointment at this point when you keep doing these same actions? I should have went and got that money and just said, screw what you feeling. It's like, it's moments like that where you get men that say, you don't understand me. And what was the first thing out his mouth? I know I lied. I know I was wrong. I just hope you understand why I did it. Oh, shut the fuck up. It ain't no real reason why you did that shit. You could have had a conversation with
Immature.
I'm sorry. Let me calm down. Go to the next person.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Say it with your chest.
Me the fuck up, because how dare you sit here and make me feel like I'm doing you wrong when you're the one out here acting like a felon. You're doing felon shit. I got a baby on the way. I already got one that's off in school. I'm a former prostitute and crackhead, so I have my own trauma that I have to deal with in my. Like, come on, y'all. Come on.
She's trying to hold her shit together because they don't even talk about her sobriety anymore. It's like just like a known thing that she's sober. But you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, as people are saying in the comments, he's immature, and I think that he placed his ego and his pride above his wife's well-being. Ultimately, you're not protecting your family by providing. If you're providing, it's going to have them looking over their damn shoulder. Like IB says, they both jumped when the door knocks. I mean, I wouldn't want it. To me, the money is not worth looking over your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather be out on my ass than be looking over my shoulder, worried about the po-po coming through any minute now.
But
I wouldn't want.
Like, he just wanted to be right about this land. It's something where he just you're gonna do anything and sacrifice it all just to be right about your daddy's land. Like, you got daddy issues, bro, and you messing up your entire family because you don't want to deal with your ego and whatever life you have to live up to or expectation you have to live up to that you got placed by your daddy. He's disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm so disappointed in Ralph Angel.
I don't think that there's anything redeemable about anything that he did. None of his decision making was okay. Everything was completely inappropriate. It was selfish. It was immature. It was uncalled for because Darla had already presented him with the solution before Theo even became involved. And so he chose to go against a very reasonable and legal solution just out of pride. And he still fucked it up. If you're going to do some shit, make sure that you're not doing it with a person who's fresh out of jail. Okay? Like, he can go right back. It's no big deal to him. So, yeah, I think that was just crazy. I felt so bad for Darla. But I don't know if I would go so far as what Jessica was saying, that Darla is thinking of leaving him. I don't think Darla is leaving no damn Ralph Angel. They've been through worse. I think she's ride or die. I think that she definitely now has a card to pull. Don't say shit to me ever again about how the fuck I decide to solve our problems, because your ass can't be depended on. You're unfucking reliable and you lie too damn much. Okay?
I said last week, Darla gonna end up using that money for bail money.
Yeah, that could be the case. That could
Yeah,
be the
that's
case.
true.
But there is a preview part that I think is going to be an interesting element. So I'll talk about that. Remind me though before we go. Emily Turp says Darla ain't going nowhere. She about to pop that baby out. She may make Ross sleep on the couch, but she ain't going nowhere, right? Shakira says makes decisions without thinking things through. Just stupid, right. Now, okay, Ivy says, can y'all explain to me why Rob blamed Aunt Vi for him stealing for Theo? Like what happened? I
Yeah,
must have missed that. What happened?
he
Somebody
did. He
explain.
mentioned
Kinda
a
was
vibe.
just he was just giving a rundown of all the things that pushed him in that direction. So he was like, "Oh, the crop is bad. Then my land is poisoned, and the bones is there. And then Aunt Vi, because told him she basically told him he wasn't a man who could handle his own business. So he just threw her in there because you gotta blame somebody but yourself. So
Okay, womp womp womp. That's some bullshit. Take
yeah,
accountability. You did that, then nobody pushed you to do that. You have all these resources. Your wife told you she had money she could tap into. Charlie's rich. Hell, even Alvi got money. Hollywood got money. If you didn't want to go to a woman in your family, go to Escalade Drive-In, new business owner, got a huge ass settlement check. Hollywood and get some money from him. That does not make any sense why he bypassed all these people to go steal. So no, do not put that on our vibe. She is not responsible for that, Ralph Angel. Be
Yeah.
a man and take accountability, period. But okay, enough about them. Let's talk about Hollywood and our vibe. Now I had to look up Paula J. Parker's character name, Celine. That raggedy
Celine?
bitch, Celine is her name.
Okay.
The motherfucking audacity of her to sit up there. This man done let you into their house. He done taking your kid fishing. He would take your kid to get his hair cut. Vi has cooked for y'all, brought y'all shit, lied to her husband just to protect y'all, only for you to turn around and press up on Hollywood. Bitch, you need to get dragged for that. Now, I will say she might she has some mental issues. So I don't know if you want to say some bad woman syndrome, she was feeling vulnerable, or if she's just a lying, scheming ass bitch. Which one? I'm gonna go to you first, season. Do you put Selena? Y'all in the comments, y'all chime in. Is she a lying, scheming ass bitch, or is she a vulnerable woman who has mental issues and she just got overcome in the moment? Which one do y'all think it is?
I'm gonna go with the latter. I don't think she been scheming and shit on Hollywood this whole time. I do kind of feel like um she just kind of got caught up in how comfortable and happy her son has been. And for that quick moment was like, well, shit, I want to get in on this too. A bitch over here, miserable and stressed and unhinged. And I don't think that was her intention. I really don't. I think it was just a weak moment, and she just got caught up in talking about her son, and I'm sure she misses the stability and family life and just had a moment. I mean, if it I have a very supportive and generous and giving husband, and I wouldn't go and if that happened to him, I wouldn't go straight to, oh bitch, you scheming on my man type shit. I could understand. I think I could understand, like, girl, I ain't even mad at you, but look, don't come around here asking for shit else, baby. So yeah.
That's very, very forgiving. I could maybe like forgive that first moment, like when she kind of, got a little close and she gave the googly eyes, and he was like, "Oh, okay, all right, well, go ahead." And but then when she went in that second time and really tried to kiss him, that's when I was like, "Oh no, you were scheming that bitch at this point." Because a moment was the first time. The second extra lean in that she tried to do, that was some premeditated plotting and shit. But maybe I'm wrong. MD Tur says he's standing up for abused woman. I understand that. I understand the trauma, but like I said, the first little, okay, I misread, or maybe I got ahead of myself, but it was a second lean in that I felt that is more premeditated and that crosses the line. Ashley, where do you stand on this?
Okay, when you say second lean in, are you talking about the first time being at the dinner table and she was looking up at him? When
No,
she
I'm talking about in that when they're at the hotel and he
okay.
kind of senses like, oh, okay, like, all right, y'all go ahead and go up there, and then she goes in for a hug, and he gives her the real church hug.
Okay.
Now, that church hug should have been her cue, but she went in again. That's where I said, okay, now you're doing too much, bitch. That's not just a moment, okay? Because he's very clearly signaling to you, this ain't it. This ain't what you want.
Okay.
That's my take on it. Karina says yes, Reese. She's with me. Ashley, you're the tiebreaker. Which
I
one?
think she is a woman who's traumatized and has never met a man like Hollywood before and got caught up in a moment.
Okay, so
I
y'all think just caught up in
like
the moment.
she sees a joy on her son's face. She sees her son has this it's what she's always wanted for her child. Now, I mean, I can understand if it was the first moment was like on Tuesday, and then bitch, you went home Wednesday, Thursday, was able to think about that shit, and then Friday you come and you coming at my man, and you a scheming ass bitch. But the fact that it was all in that one moment, and her emotions were clearly just high with it, it's like, yeah, you know what, you won't catch this real quick. You good. But I think Hollywood, I think they over exaggerated. I feel like they went too. I feel like think he went too hard on her. Like he went
What?
hard on. The way she scrambled up the stairs like a little possum. I mean, you could tell she was clearly shattered. I mean, I'm not saying he shouldn't have checked her. I'm not saying that at all. I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do, as far as like letting her know, Vi is your friend. You should not be doing this. But like, he looked like he was angry to the point where it's like, okay, recognize who this is in front of you. She's like, see the moment that she's an abused woman. Like, give her have some compassion for her. She fucked up. She absolutely fucked up. Yes, but like, have some compassion for her. She ain't. I expect that.
Now I am completely disagreeing with you on that. He didn't trade.
He all up in that little boy life. He playing stepdaddy.
But I think no, but I think that that's what probably really triggered him, because he's like thinking like, I've grown attached to this young man. I'm not doing this to send any kind of message of like there's anything in between us. You need to back the fuck up off of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like you're gonna mess up this bond that now I'm building with this little boy because you trying to press upon me, and that's fucked up. I got a wife. My wife ain't been nothing but good to you. Like I want this thing. If a bitch press up on my husband, I want her to check his ass and be like, how the fuck dare you? All she's done for you.
Random bond. No, I won't call it random, but your husband ain't out here making bonds with little boys.
Like, no, he's not. And I'm not as charitable as I buy. So this would never happen. But I'm just saying, if like whatever situation may be is, if a bitch press up on my husband and I have ever done anything nice for that bitch, then yeah, you damn right he better check the shit out of her. I will be like, okay, what did you say? It better be mean as fuck. It better not be compassionate at all. It better not be nice. It better be rude as shit. And then if I want to go back behind and be like, you know what? He's right to die for me. That's my husband.
My man better just push her down and say no.
No, you gotta let her know, like, because the story when they get back to her is gonna be something totally different. So he left no ambiguity as terms of what his position was, and so yes, but okay, we have a couple of comments.
I agree with the idea, like this, when the story come back, it better have been very fucking clear that you
not for it. Because he don't know her. He don't know her.
That's Vi's friend. Okay. That's Vi's friend. Yeah. Now, I will go back to the comment that Robin said. She said, why Hollywood hugging her? He should have seen that coming. I don't think so. No, I'm not. We're not doing that, because I think he gave her a very church hug just to be polite. It was very much like,
on him.
No, I didn't think. No, I don't think that Hollywood was wrong with how he approached that situation. I don't think you can simultaneously say, well, you know, she's a hurt woman, she's damaged, this and the other, and he was wrong for giving her a little, very much so friendly church hug.
No one's saying he wrong, but Like that was the first thing I noticed. Like when no one's saying he wrong. And I definitely think, first of all, I think he responded appropriately because
Okay, so we're agreeing on that.
men have to be on the defensive because here you got this wounded little dear mama who, I mean, she could say anything to Vi. He know how his wife is, so he know he had to do what he had to do. But I was kind of like when she was giving this whole speech and shit, and then he linked in to hug her, I was like, oh, okay, well, and then she kind of held on a little bit and was trying to get up in his neck. I'm like, see, you can't.
And that's why he was like, back up, bitch.
I did.
He's ready to karate chop her ass.
As soon as he saw Vi, he told her everything. I love that.
Boom. That is very key. That's what you got to do. There is a statute of limitations, and that statute of limitations is immediately the fuck when your ass walk in the door and you see me, you better tell me about whatever the hell situation happened. Because if I have to hear about it, I'm like, oh, what happened? When this happened? You talking about what, 2-3 days ago? How come I hear shit about it? No. If you're innocent, the best thing to do is immediately come to me and be like, oh, hell to fuck no. Matter of fact, don't even wait till we get home. Hit me up in the car. Like, can you believe this bitch? Try to press up on me?
Did. Yep.
Yeah, like, it needs to be right the fuck away. And do on me, okay, hello. Like, I need to hear the shit from you immediately. I don't want to hear it through the grapevine. So I think he was very good about that. I did not like how Vi tried to insinuate, like, oh, well, why was she even close enough? Nah, bitch, that's your friend. You remember, you invited her into the situation. You did that, so don't try to put that off on him. And he's just being a nice guy. Okay, I didn't like that part.
And then what was she finna do rolling up to the damn motel? I can't stand Vi, man. What you was finna do?
Oh, well, and that was very strange, but wait, I'm gonna go to a couple comments though. Robert says, Reese lacing up the boots, putting on all the rings. Hell yeah. And then don't play about her husband. I sure the fuck down, and he don't play about me. Period. Okay. But
I hope nobody in the comments think you playing. Your ass is serious. I'm her sister. She's serious.
Oh no, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I'm being very ass serious. I'm being dead ass right now. Like, oh, okay, what the fuck happened? But like, honestly, like I say all that, but you couldn't tell me shit about my husband, bitch. You could not kind of be like, oh, yeah, he tried to press up. I'm like, bitch, you a motherfucking lie. I'm gonna drag your ass just
lie.
Say that.
You a both.
You get dragged. He could be guilty as fuck. I would be. No, not my husband, not him. But he ain't guilty because he don't do that kind of stuff. But anyway, moral story is the whole situation. Her, like, she rolled up to the hotel like she was about to do something, but then she came out concerned about her well-being. So Vi is all over the place. Okay, Ashley, what's up?
But,
I know Vi.
It's established. I'm over with y'all. I definitely agree. When I think about it, I will absolutely like beat my man ass if he don't fucking tell me. I get it.
You're pretty violent.
I get it.
Second time mentioned, I slapped the shit out of him.
I get it. Okay. I don't play about
I ain't got no bail money.
But I feel like Vi was doing the fucking most. Like, he told you what happened. He told you how he checked her. Yes, you do need to have a conversation with her. But I think the way Vi did it, it was like, girl, sit the fuck down.
Sit your ass down.
You know, like.
But I don't know. I mean, was she gonna go to be gangster because she went there and then she was all like, oh, well, I don't know what happened. I'd be like, okay, well, bitch, karma, you fucked your shit up. You should have been, you know what I'm saying, held it together. Now you somebody else's problem. Bye. That would have been my attitude, but I'm not as nice as Vi is. Okay. Season, your reaction would have been what if you went to the motel and homegirl has skedaddled with her and her son?
I wouldn't have went to no damn motel. I mean,
you would have just cut her off.
I would have cut that bitch off. It would have been radio silence. Like, oh, this would be. Well, I mean, I would have at least talked to her I would have at least had a conversation with her. Like, look, I don't know what state of mind you was in, but me and you, we done, you know, and I wish you luck out there. Because I really wouldn't have, like you said, you can't tell me shit about my husband. So I would have known it was all on them on that end. But I wouldn't, right. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have stormed up there, and you could tell what kind of energy Vilo funky ass had because she let it all out on Billy. But we gonna talk about that later.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Okay, but let's talk about Micah and Isaiah. That's his name. I didn't even know what the little boy.
Are they flirting?
Well, okay. First of all, somebody clarify this for me in the comments. Is Isaiah Micah's frat brother, or is he just his roommate?
He's his roommate.
No, they're not roommates.
They're frat brothers.
They're frat brothers.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought he was his frat brother. Okay. So I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, Robert says frat, yes. Okay. So, like, okay, I know they're trying to insinuate that Isaiah might be gay, but I'm just a little confused by the comments from the frat brothers. Like, if they're all frat, then what is up with that? I don't know. Is that Season? You're a sorority girl. And if anybody else here is part of the Divine Nine, like, what is up with that? Like, I thought that was a little catty.
Come on.
I know, am I being naive here, or do I? Because I feel like that's mean. What do you think, Season?
Bitch, that's all you do is throw shade and talk shit. Like, I totally no, ma'am. That's okay. I'm gonna just keep it cute. That you do joke around with your frat brothers and sisters, and sometimes you mean it, and sometimes it gets heated, and sometimes you got to take it outside or on Instagram and beef it out. But that is totally fucking normal. I definitely don't think that was shady because they was frat. Like, he had something he wanted to say.
Yeah, well, I will say Isaiah definitely was giving it much better than they was dishing it, because he was dragging the hell out of old boy, and old boy's feelings was hurt. But yeah, they were all frat brothers in that case that were playing space. Well, I guess what I'm just trying to figure out is, like, why is there this ambiguity about it now? Like, so now you guys are insinuating about it, and you're having this conversation, Michael, with your mom about how he might be. Like, why is there like this open secret as opposed to just putting it out there?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of my questions. But the other question I have is, Micah said, well, why can't, straight guy, why can't you be friends despite, one person being gay or not? Do you think, I know you've predicted a romance between the two of them, but do you think, and I've said, I actually think that it's good to just show Black men having platonic friendships that are healthy. What is your prediction in the comments? You guys chime in too. Is this going to blossom into something, or do you think that kind of like puts a stamp on that this is just showing that you can have a straight man and a gay man be perfectly fine in terms of their friendships and be confident in that?
I think, like Micah said, Isaiah is on some type of LGBTQAI identity. It hasn't been discussed. It hasn't been disclosed. It's kind of like, that's your business. Who you fucking like, we're just cool. So, and that may lead to Micah maybe considering, like, this is cool. This is my homeboy, but maybe I don't want to label myself either, which is why he said to his mom, what if I'm queer? What does it matter?
Oh, I didn't catch that. I didn't hear him say that. That's what he said?
Yeah, he said it shouldn't matter if Isaiah is queer, or what if I'm queer? What does it matter? We're both just friends. So, yeah, so I don't think that was necessarily him coming out, but it just kind of it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but it's just really kind of speaking to like labels and how people are, on one hand, they're uncomfortable with them, like, oh, you're gay, you're this, you're that, you're trans, you're this, you're that, but they really don't know how to function or think if you aren't out up front with your label. And that's probably why that dude was making comments, because he fucking nosy. He want to know what's up too. Like, what's up? Y'all kicking it? Y'all partners?
Oh yeah, there was all that coming.
So I think that was more so him being nosy than him trying to like push him. And I like the way Isaiah handled that, because he knew if Micah flew off the handle, that was just gonna make shit worse. So he's been
Yeah, it
around
makes
a
you
lot.
yeah.
He know what's up, and he totally deflected it. But I just think it's kind of like it's just showing like you really don't know what someone identifies as unless you ask them, and they have to be comfortable enough to tell you. So
Yeah. I
I
think
like
that's
this
really
whole storyline. I really do.
yeah, no, I think that they're approaching it very well. I don't know where it's gonna end. Like I said, MD Turk
Yeah.
says I like the idea if there's a question even if there's a question of bisexuality, it didn't matter to Micah. So I'm hoping it doesn't go down the romantic road. I think it's interesting. So yesterday was National Coming Out Day, and this video went viral about this dumbass black chick talking about, the national what is it? NBCJ, National Black Coalition for Justice. I may be getting the exact terminology wrong, but anyway, it's a black LGBTQ organization that advocates for black people specifically in that space. And what I thought was very interesting about this campaign that they're launching, it's called Inviting In. And so basically it's about like the onus shouldn't be on people to come out. It should be like create the space where they invite you in so that they feel comfortable telling you how they identify or whatever the situation may be. And I think that's a much better way of looking at it, because it's the onus isn't on somebody to quote unquote come out to you. It's not your business if they don't want to share that part of them with you. And it doesn't really make a difference like how you interact. Why does it make a difference? And I think that Micah is really showing that that it doesn't make a difference. And I think that's a great, healthy way of approaching it. Ashley, what is your response to that, or to this whole plot?
I was feeling a little anxiety through that Spades game. One, because Spades is already, you got to talk shit during the game, right?
Yeah.
But the way old boy was coming at him, it was like, please don't turn this into like and mess up the game and like
Yeah.
bully him and do like don't go there. So I'm
Yeah.
really glad that they gave Isaiah that backbone and he stood up for himself. He knew what he had to say to de-escalate the situation and really handle it like how you would want somebody to handle it and not turn into anything that's any more aggressive than what it was. So I like that. With this storyline, I like where it's going. I do. I like that. Isaiah has this assumed assumed secret, because it may not be a secret. He just may not be talking about it.
Right.
So it really, I like the fact that they have Micah being a genuine friend, Isaiah being a genuine friend. That way, if anything romantic does pop off towards the end of the season, we see a great progression of it, where it's not just, the assumption that black gay men, all they want to do is have sex. That's it. It's nothing else. They can't be more than that. It really debunks that stereotype and shows like we're human. We have feelings. We have emotions. We have friendships that we can build and it not have to have that romantic background to it. So I'm really enjoying the storyline. It's, to be honest, it really is opening my own ignorant thoughts that I may have and making me see it in another way where I'm more accepting of it. I get it a little bit more. So I like that they're putting this space within this black show for sure. Yeah.
And what I like about it is there's no shame about it. Like even Micah didn't react with shame to all the ribbing, and Isaiah didn't react to it. And I like the way that they're handling that, because so many times, especially when it comes to black men and their interpersonal relationships, like if there's like one person is gay or both people are gay, there's always kind of this plot of like there's something to be ashamed about, or they're trying to grapple with feelings of shame. And I liked, like you said, well, Micah, what difference does it make? I like that it's not a thing that they're making like a thing. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that makes it a much more healthy portrayal. And like to your point, if it develops into that, I think that there's been a helpful progression that doesn't feel like exploitive. It doesn't feel sleazy. It doesn't feel like it's like how they always portray relationships as like being very sexually based. Which is nothing wrong if that's the basis for it, but it's not often that they portray relationships between two black men who are in a relationship or whatever label as being deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? So MB Turp says the younger woke generation is more about freedom to identify how you want, and it's not as much an issue for them. You are who you are, as long as you're cool. We can be friends.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that that's where we should all be heading to, because what the fuck does it matter to you anyway? Okay. Okay, so let me see. I think we didn't talk about Billy and Prosper, so real quick. Billy and Prosper, I liked the return of Ann Nesby.
Yeah, cute. I like her too.
I do too. She was pumping him up. You saw he was getting it. He was like, yeah. You see these arms, baby. He was on it.
Yeah, I know. He was giving the gun show right there. I like her. I want to see more. I honestly kind of wish that it wasn't introduced as like the nurse part, just because like, you know, it's a different element as opposed to if it was more of a romantic part. You know, it could have been somebody he had been video chatting with during the pandemic, but it's okay. She's there and I like her energy. And I like that Billy has kind of, you know, scaled back in terms of not being an authoritarian and really trying to be considerate of Prosper. And Prosper is trying to. I like the whole daddy-daughter thing, but god damn it, here comes Vi fucking it up. And Prosper being clueless, allowing, you know, not really catching the context clues, the social cues, that obviously he knows that Vi and Billy don't get along. He knows that this meant a lot to Billy, and yet he's still kind of inviting Vi in.
Recap of what happened, because I had to step out the room and I didn't see that part of Vi and Billy. What did Vi say to Billy?
So what happened was Billy told Vi that she does not respect her relationship with her dad, if I'm not mistaken, right? She said, you don't respect my relationship with my dad. And what Vi have to nerve to say is, oh, you talking about
okay,
go ahead, Susan. Am I telling it wrong? Go ahead.
Well, Billy and Prosper were having their daughter-daddy dinner. They were finishing up, and Billy was like, oh, I got a tiramisu. And Prosper was like, oh, cool, but I invited, I invited Hollywood and Vi over. They can join us. And they're bringing pie. So Prosper's oblivious. He's like, oh, yeah, cool. We can all sit down and have pie. And then there was a little back. So Hollywood and Vi show up, and there was a little back and forth between Billy and Vi over the pie. And because at this point, Billy is like, oh, I'm just going to leave. You know, we were having dinner, but I'm just going to leave and let y'all enjoy the pie. And Vi was like, is there an issue with my pie? And Billy was like, no. And she was like, well, it sure sounds like it. And that's when Billy was like, well, you don't have respect for me and my dad's relationship. And then Vi was like, well, you didn't have respect for my marriage. And Hollywood is like, hold up, only one bitch done pushed up on me. What you about?
Hollywood said, oh, no, don't put that on me.
Hollywood like,
I don't even know this lady.
Yeah. And then that's when Vi was like, no, my first marriage. And then Billy just let that bitch have it. Like, first of all, I was a child. Your fucking husband came on to me, got his ego bruised, started all these rumors, and none of you motherfuckers had my back. Blase, peace out. And Hollywood's sitting there looking stupid, like, well, what the fuck just happened? And Vi is looking all devastated, like that was some revelation. And then Prosper looking stupid, like, damn, I might have just took 10 steps back in my relationship with my daughter.
Okay.
So.
Well, let me also say, I think it's important to note that Billy said, you know, he tried to force himself on me. And when I didn't give in, then he started this rumor, and none of you bothered to even ask me if it was true. She was like, I understand that you were afraid of being cheated on. That was a ding. I'm like, ooh, I know that stuff. Like, wait, what did Karina said? She said, she smoked that ass. Oh, yeah. She got in her ass for real. Okay.
Yeah,
and so I think that part is important, because she was like, bitch, I know you motherfucker was out there cheating on you, and you know he was doing all kind of foul shit, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. You should have came and talked to me, because I'm the child in the situation. And I do think that is true, because a lot of times, you know, we've had this conversation many times about how Black girls are treated as fast and they're not given the benefit of the doubt. And what's this grown ass married man even doing anywhere with a teenager who's in high school? Like it should have been already on him. It should have been a mark on him that he even opened up his mouth, and they should have checked with it. Now, I wasn't clear. It didn't seem to me like even Prosper had checked with Billy. But I do think that it did seem like a revelation to Aunt Vi. And Aunt Vi, I think she did feel like an asshole because she is an asshole in this situation. Hands down, completely, 100% unequivocally wrong. Period.
Yeah.
Ashley, okay. What's your reaction here in our retail?
Oh, Jesus. First of all, good job, Billy. It's about fucking time. I've been waiting for you to cuss Vi out, and I'm mad at myself for missing the stupid phone call. I can't believe I missed that. I'm gonna go rewatch it because I'm gonna need to feel the real emotions from that scene. But good for her. And you know what? My first thought is, where the fuck was Nova? Why Nova didn't tell Aunt Vi about this? Because didn't you find out? Didn't you have a come to Jesus conversation with Billy? Didn't you find that, old boy was the one that was coming on to her? She said, no, you know everything. So you could be kicking with Aunt Vi, chit chat and drink these mimosas over here and have a good old time, but you're not gonna tell her what really happened to your so-called best friend. So
Exactly.
That was inconsistent
Nova
because
don't deserve old boy. Nova, we're good, Nova.
oh come on.
It's all Nova
Canceling Nova again. I think that was inconsistent. Obviously, Nova is the bone carrier child. She was on Real Housewives of Potomac. She'd be Ashley in the situation. So she definitely carries the bones. That was inconsistent. She didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think that there's a lot of blame to go around between Aunt Vi, between Prosper. Billy has none of the blame because she was the one who was being slut shamed, even though she wasn't a person who did anything wrong. As MD Terp says, there's a deeper meaning to that scene because the history of older generation, I believe young kids who were molested and raped, they blame the girls for being fast. Exactly. It's appalling. And I hope that it does force us all, anybody who needs to be forced, to really think twice about how we characterize the behavior of young girls, think twice about how we hear and receive information from men talking about young girls, because we perpetuate that trauma and that abuse to these young girls and young women when we don't believe them, or when we allow that narrative to persist that, oh, she's fast, or she came after, she's a child. She's a, yes, 17, 16, 18, but when you're comparing that to a grown married man, that's a child. Okay. So at any rate, she did hit the fan with that. I'm very glad that Billy has now got a chance to clear her name, at least with the people who've given her the hardest time.
Did anybody respond to her? Like after she said all that, did anybody say anything, or they just sat there looking dumb?
No, she walked out.
Okay. Hollywood stopped Vi from confronting her, so I'm sure that's going to be a conversation in a future episode. Now Charlie did come and have a conversation with Billy. To be honest, it didn't really leave a mark on me. I felt like I had made a note, or I was going to make a note about something she said, but it didn't really leave much of a mark. What was completely unrealistic is that nobody found out about Nova ass being in jail with all them people recording or anything like that. That did not make any sense. But at any rate, Charlie ended up doing what she always does, which is consoling Billy and being that kind of like that good guy to her. So next week, it's going to be more shit hitting the fan with Ralph Angel. Very interestingly, though, Aunt Vi is going to try to come to Ralph Angel's defense, but in terms of with the whole, what is it? The Boudreaux, right? Boudreaux? Yeah, the Boudreaux. I don't know if it's going to, the Landrys. There we go, the Landrys. I don't know if it's going to work, but I think it's going to be very interesting to see her try to cash that chip in again. I think it's going to be interesting to see what Charlie is planning for her, how to protect the people that are close to her. But I think Darla is preparing to stand. He's my man. What did I say? I'm going to stick beside him. That's my man. I'm going to stick beside him. I think she's prepared to do that. But I don't recall seeing anything with Nova and Dominic. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't think I saw anything with Isaiah and Micah. So I think there's still a lot more ground to cover this season. And And Gwen says just in on this. Gwen says, I think Billy should have talked with Aunt Vi the same way she did with Nova. I don't think that Billy owes Aunt Vi a talk. I think she said what she said. And I don't think that, she had a friendship with Nova. So I think it was appropriate that they kind of hash it out because she cares about Nova. She wanted Nova in her life for whatever reason, Chad.
Right.
She wanted her in there. But Aunt Vi and Billy, I don't think that they have to have a relationship, especially after Aunt Vi had stank as fuck all these years, even though her husband was trifling anyway. So I don't even know why you would be so nasty to a child over your trifling ass deadbeat husband. But that's what she chose. So I don't agree with you, Gwen, but I think it would be gracious of her if she did, and maybe she can get some more healing if she did. So, and Karina says the next episode is 26. Okay, so look at y'all hear all them sirens. So that's not next week, right? So okay, I guess we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. So thank you for joining us. It was a little longer than usual. We had a lot to get through, but we will see you guys back here for episode 7, the recap. Bye, y'all.